Well, welcome. Thanks everyone for joining us. We appreciate your time. Obviously, a topic that is hot and is resonating with a lot of folks. Artificial intelligence, AI. Seems like it's sort of new to the scene, but it's gaining traction rapidly. AI is everywhere. And if you haven't heard about AI, it'd be very surprising. But how can we in the insurance industry use AI as a tool to help us be better financial services entrepreneurs? I'm Jody Goss, president of the producers firm, and we've actually trademarked that terminology, financial services entrepreneurs, because we believe that even though we derive revenue from sales, at the end of the day, if we run a successful business, the money will be there. We'll take better care of our clients with a successful business. We'll take better care of our families, and we'll have more joy in what we do. AI is a key element to what we're actually doing day in and day out at the producers firm. And we have brought with us a guest speaker that we're so excited to have on board with us today, Justin Baumgren. Justin has been in the financial services industry for over 20 years. He's the chief operating officer of an SEC registered firm. He's the co-founder of an AI consulting firm. He's on the board of directors of several fintech firms that utilize AI. Justin's also been is a certified financial planner, a chartered life underwriter. He's the executive in management at the financial services firms such as in his career. He's currently on the board of directors at as a paraplanner, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, of Good River Solutions. He's a strategic planner at Paraplanner AI. I mean, the list goes on and on. Justin, what don't you do? What an incredible opportunity we have to have you on board. Is there anything that you'd like to add to that resume that I missed on, Justin?
Not on the resume. Excited. It's a passion of mine talking about AI. So I'm glad to be here with you today and to speak with your audience, fellow insurance professionals as well. So yeah, look forward to our discussion, Jody.
Well, thanks again for being here. Once again, AI, relatively new on the scenes, but we as a firm have been an early adopter to this tool, this technology. But to be candid, it's hard to know everything, but getting started is the first step. So thanks for coming this afternoon, or today rather, and getting started in learning about AI. But let's start with some of the basics, Justin. How is AI being used in capacities that many people may not even really know or be aware of it?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And this is a good question because, with a lot of the insecurity revolving around AI, there's likely aspects that you're already utilizing that you're not aware of. For example, there's already tools built into Zoom, Teams, other platforms for meeting notation. Whenever you get a suggestion on your PowerPoint, on your Canva, on some design parameters, ideas there, every time you're Grammarly adjusts your tone and spelling. See, this is all utilizing things like AI in its various forms. So these are some of the early application of some of these things we even may take for granted today.
Yeah, no, it is interesting that AI, like you said, perhaps AI is used to pick out Netflix movies or shows that is based on a pattern of your watching, as an example, another example there. Training AI is really a critical component to having it really being successful. So let's talk a little bit about that. How can AI be used or trained to help create content that would be beneficial for those of us in the financial services industry?
Yeah, that's another good question because, the danger, like with anything else, what you put into it, you get out, right? So, a lot of times, we're quick to get into something and play around with it, and we see the value in it. But really, just like with anything else, you've got to spend some time up front to get it to perform as expected. Otherwise, you'll get some disappointment. So it's the same with things like ChatGPT. Likely, many of us have played around with that, even maybe created some images. So it's important that we spend the time up front to to get the desired output, and then of course the training comes too. So, for example, if you asked it to write a long paragraph on a particular topic related to insurance. What the AI doesn't know is what's the perspective? Like,
Mm.
where are you coming? Are you coming from a teacher? Are you coming from somebody who's thinking about insurance, right? So the context is, we don't have that. The AI doesn't understand that. Like humans, maybe in a conversation would already have context. So you have to give it context, right? You have to really focus in on, verbiage really that in industries, insurance, financial services, we're known for our lingo,
Mhm.
right?
Right,
So,
right.
we've got to be very careful about some of the verbiage that we use. So, training in those ways, that, takes a bit of expertise to understand, how you can best communicate with that. And that way, we don't have to be skilled at programming and being able to, build your own AI bots, but understanding some of those basics is very important to just getting started with things like Chat GPT.
So let me get this straight. So as we're using it, as we're refining the language, like for example, if you've ever used Chat GPT or another tool, you put in a request for it to write a paragraph or a newsletter or what have you. It pumps it out. The language is not exactly what you would like. How do you change that? How do you ask chat to refine to make it more in line with your language? How do you do that?
Yeah, so a couple of things if you're new to it, and I wouldn't advise just kind of diving right to a Chat GPT and say, this is going to give me a 2 paragraph post for my LinkedIn page.
Right.
I think you might be setting yourself up for a little disappointed. What it can do very early on is to start creating some brainstorming. So, instead of asking to write that two paragraph article, um, have it brainstorm some ideas, give you some ideas, right? And that
Okay.
gets some of the juices flowing. And then you can ask it, let's build on this idea. Give me a few topics under, this particular theme, right? And then you're kind of training it, right? So you're really narrowing its focus. So in a way, you're really training, the chat
Right.
bot. So start with brainstorming ideas, start to refine it as you're going, through it, and you'll find that you'll come up with a better product. If you're using Chat GPT, some of the paid solutions, you're able to, in a simple way,
Mhm.
to put in some personas to it, right? You can tell it, your alter ego, give it a little knowledge, and those types of things can help refine it as well. Our consulting firm, we develop personalized content creators using RAG, which is some technical jargon, but basically the difference is instead of just taking it from public information, we use it with different personalization. So about your business, your target market, your audience. You feed it in with private knowledge, proprietary information. Perhaps you have some particular products that you like to use as an agent, right? So instead of just general in its understanding about insurance, you can be specific. So when you use RAG, you can really pinpoint your discussion points. So in that case, you could spend, like for us, we'll spend hours upfront to train a content creator because
Okay.
we know that we want to hit that one input and get a perfect output, right?
All right.
Otherwise, if you're not doing that, if you're not spending a lot of time up front to building personalized content creators, my suggestion with some of the free and other low cost providers, to really kind of walk through it. Start at the high end, brainstorm, and work your way down.
No, good feedback there. So let's drill down a little bit on that. Obviously, it can help create content that then could be used to be posted on social media. We won't, a variety of social media, obviously. But let's talk a little bit about that as well. Why is active posting so important, and how is AI deployed in those social media outlets to learn how to attract prospects? Because that's part of why we would want to use it to make our business more successful. So let's tackle both of those. First off, why is regular posting so important? And then what happens on the back end of social media as far as AI and training a pixel as an example?
Yeah. So very few of us have, the actual algorithms to, you know, to various social platforms, but I think we all kind of understand that these platforms, they favor a couple things, consistency,
Hmm.
as well as penetration.
Okay.
So, if you have consistency with your posts, there's a mutual beneficial, there's a beneficial relationship between the two, right? The platform, your content is really not yours in this case. You're loaning it to, for example, LinkedIn, right?
Hmm.
It's on that platform. And so you got to play by the rules, and that's just the world that we live in today. So consistency is important. So who has the time
Right.
to write, a 250 word article every day and and a 750 word article, every week?
Hmm.
Um, that's the world we live in. And then of course, specifics with the market penetration. Um, is another aspect that they favor likes or follows and so on
Okay.
and so forth. If you're hitting your audience with your
Hmm.
posts, you're going to get at the end of the day more exposure. So being able to really accomplish both of those with your content creation, um, with using AI, that's what you should focus on. Consistency, keeping that up with speed, that's clearly an advantage of the AI. And of course, making sure that's hyper focused in your particular demographic to ensure that you're getting the most exposure.
No, we'll kind of bring that together here in just a moment. But before I do that, that's the pluses, right? But there could be some downside to AI. Uh, let's drill down on that a little bit as far as content creation, the downside on content creation. Where could AI slow things down as far as an example, misinformation or AI makes up information? Where could AI sort of slow things down? Kind of drilling down on that a little bit.
Yeah. So, our consulting firm, we develop a lot of automation as well. In an aspect, AI can, in a support activity, respond to common questions, right? So the quality of your answers is important because you could be finding yourself in a damage control situation,
Right,
right?
right,
So, obviously, if you haven't trained it well, and picked up the cues, you could find yourself in a bit of trouble, with that. Of course, creating content, if you hallucinate and, if it hallucinates and it creates a bunch of, inconsistencies with this, you could be communicating the wrong message at the very least to your market. In financial services as well, we have a number of compliance and regulatory things we got to be careful about as
right.
as well. And too, I'm just going to add to this, Jody, as well as more and more AI generated content comes to the scene, the
Hmm.
quality needs to be very human like.
Mm.
Creating drafts, but a human touch will need to be in the final conclusion, because
Mm.
I'm at a point now where I can spot an AI generated, a general chat GPT 3.5.
Right,
I can spot one of those articles a mile away, right?
right,
So it's important that we take the time to train that, because we could be even turning away our audience,
right.
um, with low quality content.
No, makes sense. Makes sense. So it definitely takes a skill. It takes a know-how. And if you don't have that skill, you don't have that know-how, that's what the producer's firm is here for, is to introduce you to the experts such as Justin and his organization, to introduce you to the tools and resources that can help you run a more efficient, profitable business. So just kind of circling back on that, What I'm hearing you say is if you are active on social media, if that's a way for you to attract new customers, being regularly active multiple times per week is critically important. Being very targeted in your messaging is critically important. Training an AI tool to help you curate that content is really takes an expertise. That's what you're saying, Justin?
You got it.
And then that regularity of posting with that specific content will, on the social media platform, begin to train social media and their AI and their algorithms how to bring to you your ideal prospect because it's learning too. So your AI is learning, the social media AI is learning, and if it's taught properly, it could be a very, very, very powerful tool. So let's talk about some real life use case use studies of AI in our experience at the producers firm. And I'm going to do this on a broad level. We're not going to talk about specific tools, but these are tools that are available that many of the folks that do business with us are currently using. We as a firm are using. Justin is bringing even more tools to our firm that are helping the people that we work with and support. So let's talk about a particular live situation that may apply to those of you that are with us. Let's say that you want to do a marketing campaign. Let's say you want to do a workshop as an example. Well, there are AI tools that will scour the area, the mapping area that you want to do your workshop in, and scour that area for the particular demographic that you're looking for. Now, the upfront, like Justin, you brought out, you have to be very specific in what you're looking for. You have to have a key knowledge of the market that you are attacking. The broader the spectrum, the less useful the tool. But if you, through your experience, have identified the particular client that you're wanting to attract and then teach AI the language, the messaging, the information, they can seek out that person. They can find out their interests. They can find out their potential net worth. They can find out life-changing events that they're facing. They could find out if they have stock in the company that they work for. There's a myriad of information that AI can help you assimilate to begin your marketing campaign. With that information, AI can help you curate bespoke content and messaging in your outreach to that individual, either through the initial advertisement, in follow-up emails, in follow-up contacts, perhaps through social media. Once the person has come in for an appointment, AI can then help you know exactly what's going to resonate, or primarily what's going to resonate with that prospect. So your agenda, your messaging, the information that you have on the table resonates exactly with what that person is looking for. And then ongoing messaging can be curated through AI as a time saver, but also that will resonate directly with that prospect. All of these tools not only will help you more efficient, but it'll help create a better experience for your client, your customer, your potential customer, and your current customers. So those are just an example of some of the tools that we have seen utilized in the AI world. But I know there's more. So Justin, as an example, I know you're working on a project now with the use of CRM, a database, that can help the advisor during the meeting or before the meeting create messages, create questions that can be engaging with that customer. Can you talk a little bit about that tool and any other tools that you think would be important to our audience?
Yeah, very good. Yeah, and nice summary there of and just to kind of double click on that, there's no secret that AI helps you to be more productive, right? Maybe early on, the idea was AI was going to help help clients fill out forms, the myriad of forms and so on. And then we may get to these scenarios in the past, or answer our phone calls, which there's technologies that are working towards that as well. But what you just kind of those various steps, identifying prospects. Many of your listeners, they may be very skilled at doing that themselves manually, right? But again, doing this in a productive way, reaching your customers. Likewise, your audience could write maybe as good of articles as our content creators, but again, AI is helping to be more productive in meetings as well. There are many in your audience that are very skilled note takers, can remember all the fine details of an hour-long meeting, and that's great. The reality of it is that not all of us are like that. So again, AI is helping you to be more productive in data, right? In this case. So yeah, some of the tools we're working on right now, in some of the other industries with meetings is to help facilitate getting that data, information between two humans, better into systems like your CRM solution, so that you can utilize that data to either cultivate deeper relationships with them, find referral alliances, or find other prospective customers out of that. So it really just comes down to that. How do we get the data in there? So AI is being helpful. So some tools that maybe some of your audience might be interested in as well. Do similar things like Firefly's AI that you can attach. Maybe some of you've used things like that. Microsoft has their co-pilots as well that can, and Zoom as well. They have got their AI assistant that can summarize meeting notes and get that data into CRMs in a much more efficient way than old human interactions in the past. So those are some exciting things, because as we improve the data, the input, we just know that your agents will become more efficient, in their sales and relationship practices in the future.
Well, and I know one of the tools that you talked to me about is a tool that actually analyzes triggering dates or triggering events, and then creates talking points for perhaps your assistant to reach out and make a phone call, and gives an actual script based on that data information. So what a great tool to train our staff as well, or maybe train a junior advisor as to how to communicate with your prospects, communicate with your clients. So there's time. We could just go on and on about use cases as far as how AI can help run a more efficient practice. Well, once again, thank you, Justin, for your time. We really appreciate you being with us. Great insights. Just to kind of summarize things, at the producers firm, once again, we have adopted wholeheartedly this AI, this artificial intelligence tool, a variety of tools. And we'd be more than happy to help you deploy these tools inside your own practice to help you run a more efficient, more productive practice. But not only that, help to improve your client experience. Because if you improve client experience, you improve client loyalty. So if you're interested in that, please let us know. AI is not going away. It's here to stay. The better that we learn how to use it, the better we are going to be as financial services entrepreneurs. So once again, Jody Goss here, president of the Producers Firm. Justin, thank you for your time. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And if anyone's interested, please reach out to us. Theproducersfirm.com is our website, theproducersfirm.com. Follow us on LinkedIn. Our LinkedIn page is The Producers Firm. So just search us out on LinkedIn as well. And we'd love to have this ongoing conversation. Have a great rest of your day there, Justin, and thanks again.